Liam Crowley of Comic Book here with the one and only Mr. Rick Riordan, who is releasing his second book in the new Percy Jackson trilogy, Wrath of the Triple Goddess, this week. Rick, thank you so much for taking the time. Always so good to see you.
Yeah, pleasure, Liam.
Awesome. So I want to start by asking, last time we spoke about a book, it was for last year for The Chalice of the Gods, and you mentioned it was envisioned as a trilogy. A couple days later, we get this book officially announced. When did the writing process for Wrath of the Triple Goddess officially kick off, and how long did it take you to finish this book?
Yeah, well, I guess it started with an outline for all three books, which was really pitched to the studio as sort of a film project that was supposed to get them interested in rebooting the Percy Jackson TV show. And that was like 4 years ago now. Um, It turns out I didn't need them to get them interested in the show. That would have happened anyway. But after I had that outline, I got interested in them and I thought, well, might as well start writing these books too. I mean, it seems like a good time to kind of thank the fans. The process of actually writing the second book, Wrath of the Triple Goddess, that happened around the same time we were doing scripts for the second season of the Percy show. So it's been nice. I mean, I did the first new book while we were doing the first season. So I was kind of learning all over again from the ground up how to tell Percy's story in Percy's voice. And this time around, we were doing the follow-up season at the same time I was doing the follow-up book. So I had the Sea of Monsters very much on my mind because we were doing the scripts. And I also had Wrath of the Triple Goddess going on. And we were working on the two concurrently. And as with the first season, they very much cross-pollinated. The voices from the actors were in my head as I was writing Wrath of the Triple Goddess. That really helped keep it vibrant and fresh and alive for me. And I was using what I was doing with Triple Goddess as I was informing the scripts for the second season. So it's working great so far.
Yeah, and you mentioned that these new books are a thank you to the fans, a love letter to the fans. But this book kicks off by thanking the people you're working with at 20th TV and Disney Plus. The dedication specifically saying to our friends at 20th TV and Disney Plus, we couldn't imagine a better crew to set sail with into the Sea of Monsters. I know that you're a very gracious guy and you're always grateful for the people that you work with. But was there a particular day on set filming Percy or during the writing process of this book where you realized this was the story to give thanks to the cast and crew that you're working with?
I don't know if there was a particular day, but certainly I'm often aware of how special it is to be working with this particular crew and cast. They really are extraordinary, and they're so dedicated to getting the story right, and they're aware of how many people are out in the world waiting for these stories to come to the screen, and the responsibility that we have to try to do right by all of them. It's a very high bar, but they are so dedicated and the team is so great. I suppose the moment I knew I needed to do that dedication was when it became clear that the first season had been an enormous success and everybody was super happy about it. And we were going to be doing a next season, no question about it. At that point, as I started working on Wrath of the Triple Goddess, it felt like a good time to say, wow, we did it, guys. Thank you so much. And so that's where that dedication came from.
That's so lovely to hear. And since you know that you wrote the first book, you mentioned to me when we talked about Chalice of the Gods that you were starting to perceive Walker, Leah, Aryan in the characters of Percy, Annabeth, and Grover. Tyson is not in this book. He's mentioned a couple of times. I'm curious, since Daniel's been cast in the role, has that changed your perception of Tyson as a character?
100%. Daniel is amazing. I've gotten to see him work as Tyson now, and I've gotten to know him a bit, talking to him on set between takes and whatnot. He's such a lovely young guy. I mean, he brings a real big brother energy to the cast, and the other kids look up to him and really have learned a lot from him. He's a very much like Tyson the Cyclops, he's a big, dude, but he's also got this calm energy to him and this sort of gentle, loving nature that makes him just really nice to be around. He's very centered and he's very disciplined about his work. He's just an all-around great guy. So he's been an incredible addition to the crew. And definitely it has affected the way I've thought about Tyson. Yeah.
That's awesome. The chemistry is palpable from D23 and San Diego Comic-Con, so excited to see it unfold on screen. You mentioned earlier in this chat that the show and the book were informing each other, especially with Chalice of the Gods. I remember reading, and correct me if I'm wrong, that there would be elements in this book that were relevant to events that play out in season two. If that is true, and you still want to remain kind of spoiler free, could you kind of touch on how that kind of creative process goes back and forth?
Yeah, I don't remember what I might have been referring to specifically, if there was something specific. I mean, tone-wise, that's certainly true. The relationships between Percy and Annabeth and Grover harken back in Triple Goddess to what's going on in the Sea of Monsters. There was no way that couldn't be true since I was working both at the same time. I don't know of any particular details that come to mind. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that. I'm sorry, I can't give you a better answer, but if you read Triple Goddess, yeah, readers out there, let me know. What do you see? Do you see elements of Sea of Monsters in this book? I suspect you will. There's a lot going on about the trio and how Annabeth and Percy, for instance, function when Grover is out of the picture. There's a bit of that, and Grover kind of wondering, okay, well, how does he fit into this if he's been away from it for a while? I guess that's the main thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, from a dynamic and tone perspective, that definitely makes sense. This book is set around Halloween time. It's something the fans were so excited for when we realized that this was going to be kind of a Halloween-centric book. Do you have any particular Halloween memories related to Percy, whether that be writing the character around Halloween time or maybe someone dressing up in a Percy character costume? Any memories that come to mind?
Oh, so many. I mean, it's always such an honor to see kids dressing up as Percy or Annabeth or Grover or Tyson even. I mean, we've had any number of those over the years. I remember years and years ago when the books were still fairly new, I saw a comic strip, and I don't remember who made this. I apologize, but and I haven't seen it in like 15 years. But there was this great little comic strip somebody did online about this young girl who dresses as Annabeth, but nobody knows who that is. So she's in a perfect Annabeth costume. She goes to the door. Oh, who are you? Are you a princess? And she goes into this long, no, I am Annabeth Chase, the daughter of Athena, and this is me, and this is me. She goes to like three of them. And then she finally gets tired, and at the fourth door, oh, who are you? Are you a princess? She's like, yeah, I'm a princess. So hopefully more people know who Annabeth is now. But
That,
that,
that is how Annabeth would respond in that circumstance too. That's so perfect. I'm gonna say this name. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I've never heard it out loud correctly or known it. The triple goddess, Hecate. How do you pronounce it?
yeah. Yeah, you can say, I usually say Hecate. That's sort of the anglicized pronunciation. If you're going for a more Greek pronunciation, it's Hecate. So both are right. I tend to just say Hecate.
Okay, I'll say Hecate. So I wanted to ask about Hecate in this book. Obviously, a central character throughout. You could argue the main antagonist foil, however you want to present her. She and Percy never meet in the original books, despite the fact that she's mentioned multiple times. I believe her first mention is actually in the Sea of Monsters as the mother of Circe and all that.
Mhm.
That is such a fun dynamic you get to play with in this new trilogy. Characters that you've got to flesh out over the years, but never have them cross paths. So going forward, are there any character combinations that you're hoping to get to see interact in future stories like this?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a very major one in the third book. Sadly, it's too early to tease that, so I can't really tell you what it is. But yes, you're absolutely right. That is a really fun thing. It's one of the elements of writing that keeps me excited and keeps me feeling like there's still new territory to be mined. It keeps it fresh for me, so I hope it'll keep it fresh for the readers as well.
Absolutely. I wanted to do a little bit of a line dissection with you before we jump into some questions about season two. Very briefly, I want to talk
Okay,
about what's going on.
sure.
There's this one line that really, really spoke to me in this book. It's around, I believe, like page 138. And Percy says, I can't go back in time. I can't recover the people I've lost. So I have to concentrate on the family I've still got. Percy here is obviously talking about like his fallen friends from past books. But what about the people that like we as human beings we disconnect with, the people that are still alive, the people that are still out there? Is there any hope for us to still form those bonds, or is Percy right in saying he can't go back in time and everything is kind of in the past?
That's a really great question. I haven't thought about it from that point of view. I mean, I think, yes, in that context, he's talking about those he's lost permanently, but it's also, you're absolutely right. I mean, sometimes we lose people for other reasons. We disconnect, we become estranged for whatever reason it is. And that's a much harder thing to kind of puzzle through. I don't know that there's a great answer for that. There's certainly not an answer that's one size fits all. I mean, so much depends on why that estrangement happened, why we distanced ourselves. Sometimes it's to protect ourselves, and it's necessary. Sometimes maybe we just fell out for a reason that wasn't so serious. So I don't know. I'm not sure the answer, but I do think that that is a huge part of life, whether you're a demigod or just a regular person like us.
Yeah, well, here's hoping anyone Percy disconnected with over the years at Camp Half-Blood, just from distance or whatever it may be, adventures taking them in different directions. Hopefully, they can all come back together in this third and final book of this trilogy. Shifting over into some season two questions. Congrats on all the success that's been happening. I've been following peripherally. I'm hearing that scheduling is still moving right along. What's been the most rewarding day on set so far? You don't have to go into spoilers. You don't have to tell me what you were filming. But did you just feel that sense of pride as an author, as a creator of this universe, still ringing true on season two?
Yeah, well, I mean, we were just on set last week, and it's always such a treat to be there because everyone's just so happy to be working on the show. I mean, literally everybody from the caterers right up to the cast and the people in the lighting and the art department, everybody's just thrilled. I think all have a sense that they're doing something that's fun and important, and they know that there's a lot of viewers out there that are waiting for this. There's a sense of responsibility, but there's also a sense of joy. That's the most fun thing for me. I guess the greatest moment was when we were just kind of hanging out in the producer's tent with some of the cast that wasn't on that day. We had Charlie Bushnell, who plays Luke, and we had Dior, who plays Clarice, and Daniel was there. We were just shooting the breeze and talking and joking about what's coming up. They're so excited. They're talking about, oh, I can't wait to do this scene, and yeah, but what about this scene? That's going to be so cool. There was just such energy. It's great just to get to know them, off camera, and to feel the enthusiasm, and also to feel kind of the sense of camaraderie that they have with each other. They've really become a family, and it's lovely to see.
Yeah, again, the panels this past summer have been lovely, and it's going to be really cool to see everything that you guys are shooting unfold on screen. In terms of timeline, where are we at? Are we at that halfway point yet?
We're not at the halfway point in shooting. I'd say we're probably coming up on like the 1/3 mark, maybe. That's just my opinion. That's not official from Disney or anything, but I can say we're on schedule and things are moving right along. And people are just working like you wouldn't believe. I mean, when we were on set, we were looking at the things they have created behind the scenes for all the episodes all the way through episode 8, and everything looks incredible. Nothing that would spoil anything for anyone who has read The Sea of Monsters, but wow, I mean, the chariot racing that you're going to see, woo, Pitt's, Ben-Hur, it would give him nightmares. It's amazing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, what a luxury too for your season one finale to air in, I believe, February. And here we are now, already, like you said, moving right along with filming season two. Like that is so rare in today's TV industry with how long the process usually takes. Final question again, no spoilers. I don't want you to tell me anything specific. A yes or no will do. But are there more casting announcements to be made regarding season two characters?
Yes, in fact, I think I can say you should be by your computer today because there's casting imminently. And I'm sorry we're not talking a little bit later, or I could tell you more, but I can't right now. However, yes, keep your ears peeled today, and you should get some really exciting news.
If I swear to keep this portion under embargo, could you tell me something that I will and you know me, Rick, you know me. I'm good with my word. Could you tell me something that we can save to post for whenever this comes out?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure that's fine. So today we are announcing the casting for Thalia Grace, who is probably the most anticipated casting announcement among the fans. And that wasn't my decision. Disney just said, "Hey, okay, today we can do this." And I was like, "Oh, cool." So keep an eye out. And I can't talk too much more about it now, but I am so thrilled with the person we got and the story of how we got them and why this person is so perfect is itself like worthy of a movie. It's really incredible. I'll be talking about it. I'll be able to talk about it a little bit more in detail during the virtual events over the next couple of nights for the Wrath of the Triple Goddess. So if viewers are interested and they can tune into those, they can find out more.
Okay, wow. I wasn't expecting like that's a character, shows up at the very end. So it's like I didn't know we were gonna get this announcement so soon. That's wonderful to hear. Again, you have my word. This will be saved until that announcement is made. And yeah, I'll make sure to let viewers know there's extra reason to tune into the virtual events. I won't say why. I'll just say there's extra reason to. Um,
Sounds great.
Rick, again, those are all the questions I have. Actually, that's a total lie. I could talk to you for hours and hours about so much
Always
stuff.
a pleasure.
But again, congrats on the success of Wrath of the Triple Goddess. I'm so excited to see it populated in bookstores very, very soon. And again, it's always great to catch up with you.
You too, Liam. Thanks again.